Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I actually have a little something different for you today. I wanted to see if you would take a moment to just walk with me and have a little chat. For the most part, this whole video is going to be unscripted. I do have some notes off to the side just so that I don't ramble and get off topic for the whole purpose of this video, but I just want to say some things, and I'm hoping that this video finds the correct audience here, and maybe some of you are feeling the same way. I've been playing World of Warcraft since 2007, when the Burning Crusade was released. At the time, I had just had a baby, and I needed something in between navigating life, being a brand new mom, working full-time, taking care of my family full-time. I was not a stranger to Blizzard games at all. I had played many hours of Diablo 2 years prior, but strangely, I had actually never heard or had no idea what Warcraft or World of Warcraft even was. Several of my coworkers were playing. They were like, you really need to play this game. It's really good. We think you'd really like it. We're Horde on Dark Iron. And I was like, I don't know what Horde is, but this sounds great. And I just decided to jump in with zero idea on what I was actually about to get myself into. And I fell in love immediately and knew I was about to make World of Warcraft basically my whole personality. This game allowed me to turn my brain off for a few hours and get so immersed that like everything that I was stressing about dealing with in the outside world, it just didn't seem to matter anymore. And the only other game that I ever played that made me feel the same way was Fallout. So fast forward and I'm still playing the game, but for a while I kind of fell out of love with the world of Azeroth. A lot of you kept asking when I would come back and make videos, and the truth was that I really couldn't because it didn't feel the same for me anymore. After Shadowlands, I had felt something had shifted for me with the game, and I know several people who said the game hadn't felt the same for years before that. But for me, Shadowlands was the first expansion ever in World of Warcraft that I absolutely hated. I've always been able to find something enjoyable in each iteration of WoW that came out. I would see things that others wouldn't. There was always like a beauty in the game for me. Regardless, I'm a pretty casual player, which I feel like I try to portray that in all of my videos. So I was always able to find something that I enjoyed. But with Shadowlands, absolutely no joy. And honestly, it really makes me feel bad to even say that I hated it, because I know the teams work really hard and they spend so much time, so many resources just to deliver something to us, and all we can ever seem to do is complain about it. And especially during that time, everything was kind of upside down. There was so many unknowns. Honestly, I wasn't even sure if we were going to get the expansion, but regardless, that's how Shadowlands made me feel. I did play a little bit of Dragonflight. I did enjoy Dragonflight. It wasn't awful. I did find myself rushing to max level to end game content. I actually did Mythic Plus with a small group of people. They weren't overly serious about it, which was actually great for me because that's really not content that I typically strive to complete at all. That group fell apart, and I kind of struggled with just logging in every day and doing every task that was expected of me just to keep up. When I would log in, I'd just sit in one of the major cities, just looking around, wondering what I was going to do, until eventually I just stopped logging in altogether. I was hopeful for the War Within, and it is good. It is a good expansion. And I did get that burst of enjoyment that most people get, when a new expansion is released. But it actually eventually faded and I stopped playing again. And it was to the point where I never stopped my subs. Like, I would always continue to be subbed, but I just wouldn't log in. But it was to the point where it was like I didn't even bother to log in during my favorite time of year for events, which is Hollow's End through Wintervale. I think I logged in on Christmas Day, actually, just to open my presents, but that was about the extent of it, because I can never not open my presents for Christmas. But it wasn't until recently that I sat with myself and I just kind of started to think back on everything with the game. And I really got sad about it. Honestly, really, really kind of got a little emotional, actually, because this was a game that I had spent so many hours playing, even continuing to play when everyone else had already abandoned it. All my coworkers, none of them play anymore. I made some friends along the way. I got immersed into one of my favorite fantasy worlds to date, and yet I felt absolutely nothing every time I attempted to log in. There was no spark of life or joy that I was about to be able to play the characters that I spent so much time with. Characters that I went on many journeys with, created unique RP backstories for, characters that we all grow to love as we play. And it made me sad because I couldn't figure out why. I couldn't figure out why I felt this way. And so I continued to sit with it until I realized it was about the time that I started to realize that I had stopped approaching WoW in the way that I had originally played and the way that I originally fell in love with the game. And I was so focused on the end game hustle, just like everybody else. I mean, that's it, right? Like you go and you strive to get to the end so you can do all the end game content. But there's so much to that. It's just the constant pressure to level up as quickly as possible. There's so many guides out there how to get to, max level quickly. So the constant pressure to level up as quickly as possible, the need to get the best in slot gear for your characters, to go through raids, high-end Mythic Plus, keep up with all the latest content on multiple characters until your head basically explodes. I know that a lot of you are going to say that this is not an absolute requirement. What do you mean? Like, you can do whatever you want when playing the game. And I agree with you, but if you didn't do the majority of this, it would just always feel like you were then behind everyone else. So Azeroth kind of became a rush to the end while completely missing out on all the beautiful details of the journey along the way. And I think this is why I stress in my videos to new players so much not to rush to max level and to just enjoy the experience of leveling a character from 1 to max. You only get that first time playing experience once, and you just kind of grow with your character. And I think it's so important, it's so very important to savor that. I know it's tempting to boost your characters to the end, but I don't think you realize how much you would be missing out on. There are so many amazing things. You have a big, open, beautiful world and so many zones and rich lore to experience, and I feel like it's just all being forgotten as we're racing to the finish line. We're all doing this. WoW does a great job of sending you pretty linear through the game with its quests, but have you ever thought to just not always go in the direction that the quest is pointing you? Maybe take a different route, find a path that you've never explored, or, I don't know, go check out a cave that you've overlooked. I've come across some pretty neat places this way, and this is one of the beauties of classic WoW. There's no map marker to tell you where to go, where you actually needed to read the quest text to know exactly what you needed to do. Realizing the amount of depth that is in each quest, the character motivations, and getting just a whole deeper understanding of the world in general. There's so much lore out there for WoW. And you can do the same thing in retail, but only if we let ourselves just kind of slow down. And a couple of ways I think that we can do that is just to read all the books that you come across. I like to turn up the music and the ambience and the effect sounds sometimes and just listen to my character walking or running, as they're going along their journey. Take the beaten path off the road. Like, again, don't go in the direction that the quest is telling you to. Cook and fish and work on professions. Experience each expansion. Go to an RP realm. I love my RP realm. Sometimes I'll just sit and watch people just actually enjoying the game. They have conversations, they participate in RP events. Wave at everyone that you see, even if they don't wave back. And that's actually something that I tried very recently in the Blood Elf starting zone. I think I had one person out of dozens wave back, and that's okay. Everyone's running off to do what they need to do, get to max level. But that was okay because it was fun for me to do. That's why those early days of World of Warcraft were some of the best. And honestly, this is not to diminish anyone who does like to play the game in a more fast-paced, min-max type of way. You ultimately decide how and what playstyle is going to resonate the best with you. But just know that it is okay to not be the best, Ret Paladin with all the best gear and high Raider IO score. And if you're just relaxing, eating a piece of bread in Goldshire, and this is bringing you joy, then that's really all that matters. So I think that this is going to be my approach to WoW going forward. I've kind of lost myself in the hustle, in the get to max level as quickly as I can to get another character leveled up type of way. And I have started to implement this playstyle again recently, not enough, but it's slowly kind of seeping back in, and it has made everything so enjoyable when I do jump on my main and do end up doing all my dailies and the things that are required of me to keep up. But it's kind of helping to reignite the spark that has kind of dimmed. I'm really hoping that you all will come along with me on this journey, and I invite you to think about doing the same for your next character. I'm going to play a lot of classic, and I'm going to play retail with a much different mindset. I'm planning on adding these types of videos to the channel as well. Slow leveling type gameplay, light commentary sprinkled in, maybe no commentary at all. I have a few of those already on my channel. But I'll still be doing guide videos for past and current content, as my goal with the guides has always been with the casual and beginner player in mind, and that's all I ever wanted for this channel to be. I just wanted a safe space for those that were learning to play the game or that needed to escape the burnout, whether the burnout is in-game or outside of the game, and it's just the burnout that I had hoped would never inflict me. So, if you can, and if you want to, I want you to find something in WoW that you want to do and go do it. If you want to run around Elwyn Forest and pick flowers, do it. If you want to take a walk in Shadowmoon Valley in Draenor, enjoy that. Go through the Dark Portal, experience Outland again. Anything that makes you happy while you're in game, you should do it. Find a friend to level with. Heck, you can even add me on Battle.net. I'll run around with you. We can just jump and frolic around and play and chat while watching the sunset, and I think that would be a pretty amazing, awesome time. So that's really all I wanted to say on this topic. I didn't expect this video to be as long as it was, but I just want you to slow down, enjoy the moments, and just keep that spark bright for this 20-year-old nostalgic piece of art. And if you made it this far, I really and truly appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.